set for our second semifinal, a matchup between two perennial powers, the Big Ten champions, Northwestern Wildcats, and the reigning national champions, Boston College, playing in their home state of Massachusetts. In our first semifinal, Chloe Humphrey, 7 goals. North Carolina left no doubt the top-seeded Tar Heels thrashing Florida 20-4. So number 1, UNC, they have secured a spot in Sunday's championship game, noon Eastern time on ESPN. The Tar Heels awaiting the winner of Boston College and Northwestern, and we are looking forward to this one. Expect this one to be a lot more close and competitive than our first semifinal. Charlotte North, Sheehan Sandberg Birch, Jay Alter with you. These two programs, great history. The last 2 national championships decided between Northwestern and Boston College. We're hoping for another instant classic today.
Well, they're very familiar with each other. They met in the regular season this year. Boston College had the edge, and that was a game where Northwestern won the draw control battle, but BC dominated on the ground ball. So I think it's going to be punch for punch, but possession will be key.
And both of these teams look wildly different than they did in that matchup, Sheehan, in February. So keying in on the adjustments today will be fun.
There is so much star power in this matchup, and Madison Taylor, a record-setting season for her, leading the way.
Madison Taylor set an NCAA record for single-season goals at 105, and in just 2 tournament games, she's had 16 goals and 5 assists. She's got a ridiculously quick first step. She likes to operate on the left side of the field as their top dodging threat.
And on the other side for Boston College, Tewaaraton finalist Rachel Clark. She can create her shot using her size and stick. She needs to be aggressive today, generating those shots. Powerful dodger with great field awareness. Her release point is so quick and deceptive, which makes her nearly impossible to stop. And you look at the numbers, this is the battle. Taylor, 105 goals, NCAA single season record, but Rachel Clark right on her heels with 103.
2 of the top scorers in the sport, not just this season, but of all time, matching up in this semifinal. And 2 head coaches that have created a dynasty in the sport. For Northwestern on the right, Kelly Amonte Hiller, her 16th Final Four appearance in the last 20 seasons. Acacia Walker, as an assistant coach for Northwestern, was part of 3 of those since she's taken over her own program. This is 8 straight Final Four appearances for Walker, 7-0 in those semifinal games. And Dana, that first trip for Walker and BC was right here in Gillette Stadium in 2017.
That's right, Jay, and that's where the tradition of wearing neon for Boston College first began. Boston College took solace in a sea of neon in a large pro football stadium. Their first appearance in championship weekend. Acacia Walker told fans, friends, family members to wear neon to stand out in a football stadium, telling us that she knew if her team could look up and easily identify Boston College fans in neon, it would help her team keep 2 feet on the ground. It wasn't to be obnoxious, but more as a way to calm her team. And as Boston College makes its 8th straight appearance in championship weekend, that tradition of neon is still alive and well in the crowd here today, despite the rain.
I love Boston College giving some fresh hats in 2025 to add to the neon collection. It has become a staple here in championship weekend to see that Boston College neon in the crowd. A remarkable 8 straight trips, and she had 7-0 in national semifinals during that stretch.
It's been unbelievable. It is so hard to get to this Final Four weekend, but I think the key is once as a program you're able to get here, it becomes easier for the next class. Not that the journey is really easy, but you have that mentality that this is the goal to be reached.
There's Rachel Hall, who was part of championship weekend lore, winning the title in 2021. Now in neon. She was a terrific goalkeeper for Boston College and handed the keys to Shea Dolce in net. She's been starting for the last 3 seasons, part of that national championship a year ago. The junior with the best save percentage in the nation at 55%. And in goal for Northwestern, Delaney Schweitzer. Now, Boston College was her kryptonite when she was the goalie for Syracuse. The Eagles ended her season each of the last 2 years. Now trying to get the better of Boston College. Wearing purple for Northwestern, Boston College in white. North Carolina, the undefeated Tar Heels, awaiting the winner of Northwestern and Boston College. We are underway in our second semifinal. We expect this one to be close and competitive throughout. Two programs that have become dynasties in this sport. But if you take a look at the last two national championship games in 2023, which Northwestern won, and last year, which Boston College won, the similarity is Northwestern jumped on the Eagles early, got out to 6-goal leads in both of those games. BC battled back last year. Northwestern looking to start strong again. Riley Campbell, 24 in purple, tracks it down.
Boston College plays a man-to-man defense. They've elected to face guard Madison Taylor, the nation's leader in goals. She's a potent threat on the left side of the field. Number 5, Julia Hodel, the freshman defender, is face guarding Madison Taylor.
That's a tough matchup, and you can see the way she's face guarding her really, truly is to try to deny her the ball. They don't want the ball in Taylor's stick.
Tall task for a freshman in a national semifinal going against Madison Taylor. 16 goals in 2 NCAA tournament games so far for Taylor. Had 10 goals in the second round matchup after the first round bye, and then 6 goals in the quarterfinal. Great save. Shea Dolce denies Taylor the point. Shea Baker on the clear for BC.
Shea Baker, the leader of the defensive unit, the veteran. Oftentimes you see her come up with ground balls on the draw control circle right there. Reacts well to the high kick ball that came out off the Dolce save.
And Baker, a one-woman clearing machine at times. Sheehan, as we take a look at Boston College's first offensive possession, three-headed monster with Clark, number 1, Emma Lapinto, 13, and McKenna Davis, 3 in white. All named first-team All-American yesterday.
They're just so tough to beat, and what the key is when they're most successful is when they're aggressive. Davis behind, she's the feeder, but has proven all season long that she can go to cage and score. Dual threat.
Right on cue. A little too high there from Davis, but not just a passer, as you said, Sheehan.
And this is really interesting. Northwestern has elected to run their man-to-man defense. When these two teams met in February, Northwestern started out in their high-pressure zone. Boston College went on a 6-0 run, and Northwestern flipped into their man-to-man with a face guard on Rachel Clark. So interesting to see the adjustment. They've started out in their man-to-man.
And they force a turnover in that man-to-man. Madison Taylor, so much speed. Trying to turn defense into offense. Taylor goes right to goal and scores! If you blink, you might miss her. Madison Taylor continues an impressive scoring streak. 106 goals on the year, a new NCAA single-season record.
This is a great ground ball pickup from Taylor. Gets it over that restraining line and is off to the races. Her speed, her ability to get draws off the draw control, and this time taking it straight to cage and finishing with precision. I am surprised Boston College let her have so much room. When she is running with a head of steam, especially down the center of the field, you've got to close and get a stick on her and really try to deflect that shot.
And in our first semifinal, we talked about the Humphrey sisters, Chloe and Ashley, being face guarded, getting involved in different ways other than the settled set. That's a way to get involved when you're being shut off. Being ready on the line and going in transition.
And Charlie, you mentioned that first meeting so long ago, though, February 15th. BC won it 13-9. Only the third game of the season, Sheehan, and these teams have changed so much since then.
Yes, and developed different aspects of the game. I think it definitely gives you confidence when you are the winner of that game, but for Northwestern, that's just another revenge factor. They want to avenge that loss. We've talked about all season long the top 3 teams, UNC, BC, and then Northwestern being that third team. They want to get back to championship weekend, and they want to cash that receipt for that earlier season loss against Boston College.
Here's Nikki Miles, second leading scorer with 40 goals on the season. You think of that, Madison Taylor has 106. The next leading scorer for Northwestern has 40, a 66 goal difference.
Speaks to how dominant of a player she is and how much attention she draws, but the pressure right here of the Boston College defense getting on the hands on the perimeter comes up with this caused turnover.
Much like the defense we saw in the first game with UNC, just stifling, coming up with those caused turnovers. Boston College with a really strong start against a talented offense, putting on the pressure, not settling back and being aggressive.
Here's Rachel Clark, 1 in white, 103 goals this season, jockeying with Taylor for that NCAA record.
And Jane Hansen, the MVP of the Big Ten tournament, drew that assignment for the Northwestern defense.
Clark gets fouled, so they'll put her at the 12-meter. She had a head of steam. I'm sure she would have liked that play to continue to take a shot off. We'll see a shooting space violation, so this will set up an 8-meter opportunity for Boston College.
And it's Maria Themelis, the transfer from Penn. 14 goals on the season. One-on-one with Northwestern goalie Delaney Schweitzer. Missed it. Both of these teams, interesting, have a pair of Penn transfers. Themelis and Morgan Smith for Boston College. Grace Fujinaga and Nikki Miles for Northwestern. And it was the Wildcats who beat Penn in the quarterfinal to win their way to championship weekend. BC remaining on possession here. They get it back to Clark. The blow by in the crease.
I like the aggressiveness of Clark, though. She needs to get hot. She takes the bulk of shots for this Boston College offense. And even if she goes to cage and doesn't have the shot, she can dish out of that. So, but her being a spark is key to their success.
Averages just under 5 goals per game. She had a career best 8 goals in the quarterfinal win against Yale. You always say, Sheehan, when Clark is aggressive, it helps not just her, but the whole Boston College offense.
I think it really gets things going because you can already see that Northwestern is hyper aware of her presence. They're going to send the double team early. That'll open up other people.
Nikki Miles trying to weave in, spin. Good defense. Shea Baker all over Miles there.
And you can see how much they're trying to get Madison Taylor involved. She's trying to get on the same page as her left-handed attackers that are on that side of the field with her to get her involved. Sometimes when you're being face guarded and shut off and you touch the ball, it puts the defense on high alert.
The only time she's touched it is she won the ground ball.
And you can see that was a great job by Taylor right now trying to get the ball. So when the shot went out of bounds, she ran to it to get possession. That's a heads-up play.
Off the restart, Taylor finds Nikki Miles, and it's 2-0 Northwestern.
It's the graduate transfer from Penn, Nikki Miles, coming in as the second leading goal scorer for this Northwestern offense. And we talk about ways to attack a face guard. You pick up the end line run out and you draw the eyes of the defense. The quick slide went to Taylor as she drove up the right side of the crease. A textbook draw and dump play to Miles on the doorstep.
That was a great look at the fake, too. You could see Miles right there throw in the pump fake. You could see Dolce move ever so slightly, and then she shot to space with the finish. Similar to the first game when Chloe Humphrey misses her first shot and things weren't working offensively, and then she got involved in the defensive ride and came up with some caused turnovers. Madison Taylor early on being shut off in this game face guarded, so she can't get the ball that way in normal passing. However, she gets the ball in the run out and then sparks a goal. If things aren't working, you got to figure out other ways to be involved, and two of the smartest in the game have found their ways.
One of the most improved areas of this Northwestern team at this point of the season has been their draw control unit. Sam Smith, the center draw control taker, coming off a 15 draw control performance against Penn.
Miles goes to goal again. Back-to-back goals for Nikki Miles. And it's 3-0 Wildcats to start this semifinal.
The Northwestern fans are loving it. Nikki Miles just with a drive to cage. 41st goal this season. The 2023 Ivy League Attacker of the Year when she was at Penn. And this time Boston College not able to stop her and keep her out. Nice switch dodge up top. Gets to the inside. Her stick is free. And a nice bouncer to get that past Shea Dolce.
And this Northwestern offense loves to utilize picks on the elbows, a two-player game. You saw Sam Smith, number 19 in purple. She set the pick, but Nikki Miles refused the pick. She acted like she was going to use it. Instead, she went the other direction. That can cause chaos and miscommunication in a defense.
Eerily similar start to the last two national championships where Northwestern has jumped on Boston College early in 2023. It was enough to secure the championship. Last year, Boston College came from 6 goals down to win it. Nikki Miles feeling it right now. Dolce makes the stop. That is a big save for Shea Dolce. After Northwestern scored 3 goals in a 4-minute span. BC still looking for their offensive rhythm. Well, they had it against Yale. 18 goals in that quarterfinal. Acacia Walker thought that was the best performance from her team this entire season. Looking to keep that momentum. And they start on the back foot, trailing 3-0. Inside to Clark, rings it off the pipe, inches away from the Eagles' first goal. Mia Mascone aggressive on the ride, swipes it from Sammy White, and BC can reload offensively.
What a heads-up play. Instead of hanging your head and getting back on defense, you go into attack mode on the defensive ride. Been really impressed with Mascone's play, especially over the ACC tournaments. Thought she really stepped up well, especially when sometimes the big 3 for Boston College wasn't scoring. She was one to really take the lead.
And you can see they're trying to get Rachel Clark involved, whether that be in a dodging lane or off ball on the inside of the 8-meter, constantly moving and manipulating her defender.
And here's McKenna Davis, the quarterback, trying to spin her way and has a step. Schweitzer got a piece of it, but couldn't keep it out. And Boston College finally finds a breakthrough. And it's McKenna Davis, known for assists, with 75 on the year, this time notching a goal.
The lefty quarterback of the offense has the vision, has the passing. She plays the leverage game on a bonus possession from Mia Mascone. And she puts the Eagles up on the board. Northwestern leads 3-1.
Well, these two programs have become dynasties. In each of the last 2 years, it's these two teams that have met to decide the national championship. In 2023, Northwestern got out to a hot start. Madison Taylor, just a freshman. A convincing win, 18-6 against BC last year. The Eagles with revenge on the mind. In Izzy Skane and Erin Kuykendall's final season, it was BC who came back from 6 goals down to win it. Both of those games played in Cary, North Carolina, so each program with 1 national championship apiece. And now meeting in a national semifinal here in Foxborough, Massachusetts. The rain coming down here at Gillette Stadium. Now, both programs certainly comfortable playing in the rain. Northwestern coming from just outside Chicago.
And last year's championship game, talk about a finish. When Northwestern exploded out of the gate to go up 6-0, it looked like they were going to run away with it again. But the Boston College comeback and those final minutes, and Shea Dolce with that kick save, which I think just stands out when you think of a goalie's performance.
Unbelievable history between these two programs, always meeting in the biggest of moments. And talk about the matchup earlier this season, so many adjustments made both on the defensive and offensive end for both of these teams from then to now.
Great defense by Julia Hodel. They were trying to get it to Madison Taylor, and the freshman comes up with it.
Yeah, heads up play for Shea Dolce, also being that outlet, leaving the cage to get the ball.
Julia Hodel's first appearance for this Boston College team was in their second-round matchup against Stony Brook, and then in the quarterfinal matchup against Yale, she matched up in a face guard on Fallon Vaughn, one of the best midfielders in our game.
Well, they've been mixing and matching the defense, trying to get it right ever since they lost All-ACC first-teamer Lydia Colsante. Late in the season, she went down with a season-ending injury, and that forced Boston College to shuffle the deck. Here's Rachel Clark. Just couldn't quite get her hands free there. Contested shot. BC had the backup, though. Emma Pinto.
It's good defense. She's so shifty and tough to guard. She can get inside, though. Great defense to keep her out.
You can tell this Northwestern defense is trusting in their 1v1 matchups. They're sending the early slide to Clark, but for all other 6 Boston College offensive players, they're holding.
Davis hits a player, and that's a yellow card. Automatic yellow card when you release a shot and it hits a defender.
Was it deflected? Well, let's take a look at this shot on Davis. I love her aggression going to cage. She's checked, and then the release point, and it does hit a player in that chin area. Grace Fujinaga gets hit with the errant ball, but this is interesting, though, because the check definitely causes the release. No card has been issued on the field as of now. So Jay, you're right. As a shooter, you're in control. You need to be in control of your stick and be aware of where you're shooting. And that's why they had the shooting space call in the game. But the check looked like it affected that shot release.
So the officials are saying the check caused the errant ball, so there will be no card.
Looks like Fujinaga is also okay and smiling, so good thing she had that mouth guard in. And it's a tough call because player safety is of utmost importance, but I agree that the check affected that shot release point.
Well, you've trained me well, Sheehan. Usually if you see a defender get hit by a ball, automatic yellow card. In that instance, because the check came first.
And it looks like it's going to be Northwestern's ball for alternating possession.
Yes. Acacia Walker not happy with it. But Northwestern can start the clear, leading by 3-1, 10 minutes into this opening quarter. Emerson Bolig, so much speed, great in the clearing game, finds Jane Hansen, veteran defender, playing in yet another championship weekend. Great experience on both sides. Yes, there are new faces experiencing championship weekend for the first time, but you can lead on that veteran experience that have been part of winning championships.
So clear talking to all 4 teams yesterday, just how appreciative they are to be in this game, understanding how hard it is to get the Final Four, how exciting it was to be in this stadium, not wanting to take anything for granted.
Taylor breaks out of the face guard, passes back, Riley Campbell, perfectly placed to beat Dolce. Campbell with a unique release there, fires Northwestern up 4-1.
Sideline loving it for Northwestern. Boston College defense, they've been playing strong, but Northwestern has been able to find the seams and get some of those passes in, and Campbell gets her 36th goal. Watch Madison Taylor, and then this just passed. She sees all the sea of white shirts, and Campbell doesn't get it cleanly, but gets the ball off the turf, takes it on the run.
And it looked like Shea Dolce was screened there by Devin Russell coming around the crease. Take a look right here. It looks like right as that ball is coming towards Dolce, Devin Russell's cutting over the top of the crease.
She was lucky to not get hit by that ball, too.
Madison Taylor, despite playing against a face guard, has a goal and 2 assists. BC trying to find their footing in this first quarter. Emma Pinto settling it down for the Eagles attack.
When you go against a man-to-man defense, the key is to create dodging lanes for your dodging threats so that they're able to get the defense to spin. A lot of times you see teammates cut through and clear lanes for those threats on the perimeter.
Kylie Colbert just missed that shot. She had a great game when these two teams met in February. 3 goals against Northwestern in that first meeting.
Good news for Boston College is they're getting off shots, so they are having opportunities. They just need to finish on them. 8 shots for BC. Clark, their leading scorer, has 3, 1 post, and has not been able to connect and score.
Emma Ward on that backside dodge. Emma LaPinto was caused for that Ward.
And Sam Smith was super fired up after causing the turnover. Jane Hansen, the defender, firing a shot there. Madison Taylor has the backup. Taylor looking for that corner. Knew she had the backup with Nikki Miles. I've been impressed with Madison Taylor going against a face guard, finding ways to get the ball, picking up ground balls, making sure she's there for the restarts.
She's seen every type of defense thrown at her this season. Leads NCAA in scoring this year, breaking all sorts of records, and that is unbelievable because we knew she was a great scorer last year, but she had Izzy Skane and Erin Kuykendall on the roster, and they had a lot of the attention from opposing defenses. This year, it was her offense to lead, and she has stepped up and delivered.
And she and a lot of people questioned coming into this season, how was she gonna fare against those top matchups on opposing teams? And the numbers speak for themselves. She has absolutely delivered.
Doubles being sent early to Rachel Clark.
On the run, Clark, a flamethrower. Rachel Clark has been in attack mode in this first quarter and finally finds the breakthrough. With 3 defenders chasing her, Clark finds a way, her 104th goal of the season.
A Tewaaraton finalist and a dominant goal scorer. She has an explosive first step. And look at the way she attacks the top shoulder, the right side of that double team. She doesn't stop moving her feet. A lot of times when a double team is closing in, players take their foot off the gas. They hesitate for a second. But Clark keeps her foot on the gas, goes full head of steam, and is able to run through that double team and bury a mid-range shot on the run.
We've got our NCAA goal counter between Madison Taylor and Rachel Clark, each with a goal to their name today. It's amazing. Nobody before this season had ever scored more than 103 goals in a season. Now 2 players have done it in the same season, and they meet in a national semifinal.
History being made, amazing. And to our right is Charlotte North, who was right up there, had the record 102 goals. Abby Horms had that 103 mark, and now one of the 2 players on this field by the end of this tournament should have the lead.
Brooke
Number 1.
McCloy coming in on that draw control circle team, wins it for BC. The draw will be so crucial. You just get the feeling that's going to separate these 2 teams, Charlotte.
Possession is everything, and these are 2 draw units that look entirely different. Northwestern leading that stat 5-2 right now. Brooke McCloy comes in as of late into that draw unit, playing a role on the wing, on the circle. She was a spark in their second round game over Stony Brook, winning 3 huge draw controls in that matchup.
Rachel Clark again! Weaving through the Northwestern defense like a Maserati. And it's back-to-back goals for Clark at the end of this first quarter to make it a 1-goal game.
Clark is a leader out there. I've liked her aggression from the start. We knew she needed to generate shots. Here she takes what she's given. She's got powerful downhill dodging and is evading these checks, a tight cradle, but then she gets her stick back to her release point, high on her shoulder, watch the switch the hands, does not get checked by Jane Hansen, one of the best takeaway defenders in the game, and finishes it top shelf against Delaney Schweitzer.
One of the most underrated skills of Rachel Clark is her ability to dodge the sliding defender. She knows they're in an unsettled position as they're sliding to her body. And that's when she puts on that second move to be able to get to a better spot to shoot.
Sam Smith
She's
wins
so good.
the draw to herself.
So good at winning to herself. 15 draw control wins to her name. And in the women's game, draw controls are counted differently than face-offs. You have to win possession yourself to be counted for that statistic.
This is a draw unit that's 4th nationally in draw percentage, averaging 64% wins in a game.
There's time here for Northwestern. 7 seconds left in the quarter. Swiped away. And the ball won by Boston College to finish this first quarter. Exactly what we expected. Close and competitive between the two programs that have decided the last 2 national championships. North Carolina awaiting the winner of this second semifinal. Hard to believe, 20 years ago, the first national championship for Kelly Amonte-Hiller and Northwestern came out of nowhere to win that, a program that now has become a mainstay. 7 national championships followed, and their head coach with Dana Boyle now on the sideline.
Coach, Boston College punched back. How do you find the edge in the second quarter?
You know, you just need to keep battling. These games, it's going to be tough. There's going to be ups and downs, and just need to continue to stay calm, stay focused, and really fight hard with all our heart.
What's critical at the center circle?
You know, I think we just got to battle when it's a 50-50 ball. Obviously, Sam's elite draw taker, but we got to come up with the 50-50s too.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks. Go Cats.
You know, it's funny, we asked Kelly Amonte-Hiller what has changed and what has stayed the same in those 20 years as we show you the footage of that first national championship in 2005 when they were the new kids on the block. Now they're the perennial power who's been to 16 of the last 20 championship weekends, winning 8 of those 16. And she said, you know what is similar is the fight that these girls bring to the game and that the program just has instilled in their culture.
I mean, it has been a phenomenal culture built. Northwestern just blasted onto the scene, winning 5 straight national championships, their last being in 2023, and Amonte-Hiller has done an excellent job just, creating that championship culture and mindset.
When we talked to the players, they talked about the belief they have in each other, and that seems palpable year to year with the teams that Kelly Amonte-Hiller brings back to championship weekend.
And she even mentioned Acacia Walker then the next season came in and they won 3 in a row with her in 2006, 2007, 2008. Acacia, an assistant on Kelly's staff, and then took that championship culture when she became a head coach for Boston College, and now you see them making an 8th straight championship weekend, an incredible 7-0 in those semifinals, trying to keep that alive. Schweitzer out of her cage. Davis didn't have the angle.
I like how aggressive that Davis is going to cage. She's known for being a pass first, but she's looking for opportunities.
Finds Lopinto, squeezes it by Schweitzer, and Boston College has tied it at 4.
The big 3 on full display, wreaking havoc and chaos all over the 4 quadrants of the offense. That's what makes those 3 work so well together as they attack from different spots. It was Rachel Clark winning the run out, staying on, pressuring Emerson Bowleg, picking up the ground ball off the end line, finding McKenna Davis, who is scanning. And the way she passes back against the grain. Take a look at this pass over the crossbar against the grain to Emma Lopinto, who finishes it off on the doorstep. That triangle is so tough to stop when they move the ball through different quarters.
Looked like it bounced off the shoulder. There was not a lot of room there for Lopinto to find that angle. Love Lopinto's finishing ability. She is so crafty around the crease, so slippery to get into the inside. And Davis, I think the key, she was telling us this season that she constantly keeps her feet moving, which I think makes her really tough to guard as a feeder.
Ready.
Well, you just heard Northwestern's head coach Kelly Amonte-Hiller speaking with our Dana Boyle, and she said, we expect this to be a hard fight throughout, a battle. We're expecting this to be one of those semifinals that goes right down to the final possession between these two perennial powers. Unlike our first semifinal where North Carolina scored 18 unanswered goals to beat Florida 20-4. Here's Madison Taylor, breaks free of the face guard and a whistle off ball.
We'll see who gets
this will send Madison Taylor to the 8-meter where she is so dangerous. 35% of Taylor's goals this season have come off free positions. 2 Tewaaraton finalists, which goes to the nation's best player. Taylor against the BC goalie, Shea Dolce.
Look at Dolce's stance, takes up so much of the cage.
Taylor charges in and scores. She lands in the crease, but they count it as a good goal. And Madison Taylor has fired Northwestern back in front and beats Dolce off the 8-meter.
Madison Taylor is lethal coming off the 8-meter, and that's one of the things teams try to keep her off. You do not want to put her on the 8-meter because she's so efficient in scoring. 107 goals this year, the Division I record. She explodes her first step, but the key here is she chokes up her bottom hand on that stick, so it does not have a lot of area to be checked. You can see that bottom hand exposes about 7 inches. And looks like she finishes in the crease, but they're going to count that as a goal. Could have been pushed from behind. But her finishing ability, the way she's able to protect her stick, get to cage, and score.
And the officials have the ability to review every goal-scoring play. They're not even going to take a look at the video here. Confident in their call on the field that Taylor was pushed into that crease.
And the coaches could call a review also. And we've seen this all season long, how players on the field will signal to the sideline and say that was a crease call, for instance, and they want their coach to challenge it. I didn't see that coming from the Boston College sideline. So oftentimes, if you know you push somebody in, you're not going to ask your coach to have that review.
The challenge for Boston College is you've been face guarding Madison Taylor, and she's still got 2 goals and 2 assists.
And you can see how integral she is to this offense. They're constantly trying to find ways to get her touches.
Davis and Lapinto tried a quick stick there. Closest to the ball earns possession. No one was really close to the ball there, but the officials say BC will stay on possession here. Rachel Clark, she'll make you pay from there. Got a step on Hansen and ties it at 5. These two perennial powers going punch for punch in this semifinal.
We talk about Clark's one-on-one dodging ability, the way that she can shake a defender with the ball in her stick and her change of direction, but watch her off-ball awareness right here. The quick burst of speed, the change of speed to gain leverage and separation from her defender, Jane Hansen, is what wins her that opportunity right in front of the doorstep. And it's Emma Lapinto who finds her in the middle. Rachel Clark has such a tall frame, a tall target on the inside. Oftentimes, why McKenna Davis and Emma Lapinto, the feeders of this offense, are able to find her.
She uses her size so well. She's about 5'10", but the way she presents her stick almost presents a taller presence out there, and she can just dodge through defense and protect her stick. Started her career at UVA, and she was impressive from her freshman year there. Transferred to Boston College last year, winning that national championship, and has really elevated her game this year.
This Northwestern offense loves to run the pick game on the elbows. They like to set up on the right and the left side. They're incredibly balanced with their righties and lefties, but they like to work the 2-player game.
I think it's so key to have your off-ball players working, whether it's setting picks, cutting through. You've got to be moving and occupying your defender.
Nikki Miles trying to muscle her way in. Denied. A scramble for the ball. Chased down. Kept in play by Sam Smith. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. More than 30 seconds on it. Great view from our sky cam right now. Such a chess match between these two teams. So much firepower offensively. Great feed, and the finish! Riley Campbell beats Dolce. Off another assist from Madison Taylor. 2 goals and 3 assists for Taylor. And Riley Campbell puts Northwestern back up by 1.
Maddie Taylor, such a threat. She leads the team with assists on the season, but when she goes to cage, you know there's going to be a slide. That opens up other people. When she's going to attack mode, all the defense starts to get into panic mode. And here, Riley Campbell's able to get open, get the feed, and then shoot over her defender for the score.
Talk about the ways to attack a face guard. Sometimes your job is to get the ball, draw the double team, and let the rest of your offense control the backside and find the gap, because when the double team goes, somebody will be open.
Looks like that was a review called by the Boston College staff. And I wonder if they're going to be looking at the follow-through, because you saw Campbell go for that shot over top of her defender. Did she make contact with her stick?
So Erica Leslie, Judy Strong over at the video monitor. And we have just been told that it is indeed on the follow-through. Boston College challenging Riley Campbell's follow-through. Let's take another look.
Watch the stick, and does she make contact with the shaft of that stick on the head? It's hard to tell from that angle. The looks that we have right there, I don't see it. The Boston College defender does go down. Morgan Smith holding her head. If the officials see that contact was made with that follow-through, that would disallow the goal and be a yellow card. But the ruling on the field was that it was a goal score.
Has to be indisputable evidence to overturn.
From the looks we've seen so far, I'm not seeing that indisputable evidence. Another angle here.
If anything, the extension of the arms coming from Morgan Smith. I mean, they're supposed to be reviewing the follow-through, but that almost could be a card just with the defense from this look.
It almost looks like Campbell's right hand might have made contact instead of that shaft. Take a look right here.
Oh, there's some contact on that side.
Her right hand. That was probably our best look at it right there. That was
a very long review. The officials have just emerged. Let's get the call.
No goal. Huh?
So the call on the field is overturned. It is going to be a card for, please stay here. It's a dangerous follow through to 24 purple is going to get a card. You lose your VR, but not your timeout. Ball will start, it was no goal, and ball will start down at the goal cage.
That last angle did show there was contact. I do think that is a tough call, though.
It looked like it was the hand that made contact as she was shooting, that right hand of Campbell that went in towards the head and neck area.
And it's a big swing in this game. Instead of Northwestern being up a goal 6-5, they now go woman down, and it's Boston College on the power play. Sheehan, what did you think?
It was tough to see from that angle. The player safety is of utmost importance. Only equipment is the goggles. If the ruling on the field was the goal, I don't know if there was enough evidence there to overturn it, because in all the reviews we saw beforehand, I couldn't see the contact. That one, it did look like contact was made with the hand. Was it as a result of the check into the body? it's tough, and sometimes the reviews make these decisions even more complicated. But in the end, you have to be in control of your stick and body as an offensive or defensive player.
Shea Baker dispossessed. Northwestern wins it back, and now they can kill this penalty or go to goal shorthanded. Madison Taylor runs through, whizzes that wide. Northwestern has the backup, and now they might settle down.
I like Taylor taking that shot.
Yeah.
Even though they were a player down, she is so great at scoring. We saw her score the first goal of the game running down the center of the field.
And a lot of times, transition's gonna be your best look when you're woman down. Transition is that unsettled opportunity where the defense is trying to get organized.
Northwestern can take this power play down to just 12 seconds if they kill the shot clock. That's why a turnover is so critical when you're a woman down. The ability to kill the woman up, drain the clock, and also neutralize the momentum shift that could have come from that no goal and the yellow card.
When you attack a team, even when you are a player down, you can often draw a foul, get yourself set up on the 8 meter. So it's good to still be aggressive, especially at this point in the game.
Sam Smith. Great check by Shea Baker, showing why she's one of the best defenders in the country.
Somehow Northwestern was able to come back with that ball. Excellent check by Baker.
So Baker had checked it away, and Northwestern won it back.
And they're gonna give this ball to Madison Taylor at the dot behind.
And now it's even strength.
That relentless pursuit, that is so key. When the ball changes possession, just to go back, trying to get into attack mode, getting the ball back, just putting on the defense right away.
Here's Madison Taylor. Double team comes over. And Taylor draws the foul. Taylor off the restart. Feed inside, Sam Smith rings that off the top of the pipe. Inches away from Northwestern earning the lead there. Colbert steals it away. Mia Mascone sandwich there.
We're going to see a push and a green card awarded on that play. Those are for those fouls in that midfield between the restraining lines.
So Northwestern, who just was woman down for 2 minutes and killed the penalty, now goes back to their woman down defense, and Boston College back on the power play with Sammy White in the box.
The green card is a 1-minute releasable penalty.
You can feel how physical this matchup is, especially in the midfield. Every possession will matter.
Patient on the power play, midway through it. Here's the quarterback, McKenna Davis. Swings it into Clark. Another pipe.
I think that's Clark's second pipe of the game. She's getting those shots off in just a matter of inches.
And Northwestern just hit one on the other end. 8 seconds left in the power play. Davis goes to goal and scores! McKenna Davis cashes in on the power play and delivers the lead back to Boston College.
The woman up offense reliant on the ball movement. Letting the ball do the work on the perimeter, finding the gaps, handling the physicality. This is a rivalry that always delivers the best games on the brightest stages.
You guys are having too much fun in the rain down there here at Gillette Stadium. Awesome to have the full crew together for championship weekend. The first of 4 days of nonstop lacrosse here in Foxborough. Men's semifinals tomorrow, then the women's championship Sunday, and the men's championship on Monday. North Carolina advancing to the championship game. Drew and Rachel will have full highlights for you coming up at halftime. And this has been exactly what we expected in this second semifinal. Close and competitive, not much to separate these two teams.
But it started off with Northwestern exploding, going out to a 4-1 lead. Boston College has battled back.
Well, they've been a resilient group all season after winning the national championship a year ago. 19-0 against everybody not named North Carolina, and 0-2 against the Tar Heels. You know they want a third crack at them to defend that national championship. Northwestern continues to be very dialed in defensively. Now, BC does have 6 goals, but they still haven't found that rhythm that we're used to seeing from them offensively. Been disrupted by this Northwestern defense.
And this is a Northwestern defense that when these two teams met in the regular season, elected to play their high-pressure zone defense. Boston College started that game on a 6-0 run, and they switched to their man-to-man defense with a face guard, and they had much more success in that part of their unit. So they start out this game in that man-to-man, and they've had success containing 1v1 matchups, but still asserting pressure.
This is the first time Boston College has led in this semifinal. Northwestern chasing an equalizer. Lucy Monroe is looking for Madison Taylor, never got free. And now Aditi Foster, the freshman. Nikki Miles working against Shea Baker, goes to goal, draws the foul. And a free position coming for Nikki Miles, who has 2 goals to her name in his first half.
Second leading goal scorer for Northwestern. Goes to cage hard, does fall in that crease area, but they're gonna call Boston College for the push. This will set her up on the 8-meter hash.
Miles one-on-one with Shea Dolce, passing out of it. Good look, missed it.
You could tell by Miles' body language, she was looking for the pass. When you get fouled and get put on the 8-meter, someone is behind you, whoever committed the foul. That means there's a man up somewhere. So the passing play is what she elected for.
In your entire career, did you pass up an 8-meter?
Well, yeah, a lot of times you use deception.
What a goal in transition! Mallory Hasselbeck, the captain, gives BC a 7-5 lead.
That is a huge goal. The captain, just her 5th goal this season, has battled injuries throughout her career. You can see the excitement. Head coach Acacia Walker. That's important. She's been an emotional leader for this team. Hasn't been called on a ton this season. But finds the opening. Look at all this open space. Stick side against Schweitzer. She lets it rip. She's out about a step inside the 8-meter.
What a moment for the senior captain. You mentioned it, she's battled through injuries, overcome so much.
And personally, this has been a difficult season for her and her family. Last month, they lost Mallory's beloved grandfather, Don. He played for the New England Patriots from 1977 to 1983, now scoring a goal in the Patriots' home, Gillette Stadium, in a national semifinal. What a cool moment for Mallory and the Hasselbeck family.
A Massachusetts native, and I'm sure she remembers being in this stadium in 2017 when the Eagles made their first championship weekend appearance right here at Gillette Stadium.
And her energy is so infectious, whether she's on the field or off the field. She's constantly communicating with her teammates when they come off in the sub box. Such an unselfish player.
Taylor shut off. Northwestern just 1 goal in the last 15 minutes. It's allowed Boston College to go on a 6-1 run. Stolen away, Julia Hodel, the freshman who has turned it on in this NCAA tournament.
Huge ground ball pickup, and you can tell she wants to be careful with the ball. You just don't want to launch it.
BC has stolen the momentum in this second quarter, outscoring the Wildcats 4-1.
Here, this Northwestern defense playing man-to-man.
Molly Driscoll goes to goal. Schweitzer saved it with her shoulder. And a crease violation gives the ball back to Northwestern.
That's the type of recovery. When the double team goes to Rachel Clark, you have to beat the ball movement to the backside if you're in a man-to-man that is sending slides. And they do that just there, being physical as they close out on that backside, recovering after they've sent the double team.
This Boston College team is #1 in assists per game in the nation. So they are really effective against the zone. So I totally understand why Northwestern playing them in a man. And they've got great dodgers as well. They're just hard to defend. That's why they've been so great all season long.
2 minutes remaining in this first half. Taylor. Foul called. And it sends Madison Taylor to the 8-meter for a free position, where she is so dangerous.
It's got to be a 3 seconds violation. They're putting her on the inside hash. If it was a foul off the ball, she'd be on that hanging hash mark. We saw her score from this hash mark earlier in the game.
Passes off the 8-meter, looking for Aditi Foster.
Another passing play by Northwestern off the 8-meter. I'm surprised Taylor didn't take that one, being that she's a left-handed dominant player on that hash mark that she likes to go from, and she has such a quick first step. And we've talked about her efficiency, shooting 57% on the season, which anything above 50% as an attacker, that's your goal. So 57% is up there.
And I love a pass off the 8-meter, can look really pretty, but I think it's a higher percentage shot to take that go to goal, because you got to rely on somebody else catching and then finishing their shot. And clearly there's times you want to pass out of it because you don't have a good angle. But if I had Madison Taylor on the 8-meter, I want to go into cage.
Particularly if you're being face guarded and the early double team is coming to you. Those chances on the 8-meter are those close-up opportunities.
Northwestern has not scored since the 13:20 mark of this second quarter. BC 3 straight goals, looking to extend their lead right before halftime. McKenna Davis, who's been brilliant in this first half, quarterbacking this Eagles offense. Double team, dispossessed, and Northwestern has it with plenty of time here. Mary Carroll, freshman defender, and the Wildcats storming with 20 seconds left in the half. They find Taylor. Bolig runs into goal. Dolce couldn't keep it out. Northwestern scores. Emerson Bolig put just enough on it. Dolce got a lot of the ball, but it crossed the line. And the Wildcats make it a 1-goal game with less than 10 seconds remaining in this first half.
Bolig is the two-way midfielder, the veteran in the midfield for this Northwestern team. She sees the opportunity on the backside elbow. It's a 2v1, so she uses her straight line speed as Lucy Monroe, number 33 in purple, screens down against the defense. That opens up the lane for Bolig, and it trickles in past Dolce. Bolig has been highly productive from an offensive standpoint for this Northwestern team this year. Her most productive season in terms of numbers offensively.
Kelly Imani Hiller telling us that she, coming from California, that she's very underrated, but has done so well, has such great speed. And her mom actually played lacrosse at Northwestern under Cindy Timshaw when she was a coach at Northwestern. So here, Shea Dolce, she makes the save, and it bounces off her body, and it does cross completely all over the line. And the officials are reviewing this, but it's clear from this replay that the ball crosses over.
It looks like it hit the back of her stick, and then the spin on the ball had it rolling backwards.
It's in front of her right here, and just the crazy spin, as you said, rolls it backwards over that line completely. And you can tell that she wants that one back. And that's, I think, the hardest part as a goalie, when you make that save and just kind of a weird bounce. It has started raining in this second game, and you know, depending on the surfaces, the players got to practice here yesterday, but that makes a big difference in terms of how the ball spins. And yesterday in their practice time, it was a nor'easter here. It was a nor'easter. It was torrential downpour. All the teams were out here soaking wet, but that is a difference in terms of like how the fields hold the water and what could happen if the ball makes it a little bit slippery.
You almost got blown away leaving dinner last night.
It was a full-blown nor'easter. Didn't feel like championship weekend that we're used to, but here in Foxborough, Massachusetts, certainly the elements.
Yeah, Boston College certainly used to these conditions, just a half hour away from campus, and Northwestern coming from outside Chicago, very comfortable playing with the wind and the rain. And we've got a one-goal game headed into halftime, exactly what we expected from these two championship weekend mainstays. The two dynasties in this sport going punch for punch in that first half. Boston College, a 4-2 second quarter, a one-goal lead. Let's hear from their head coach, Acacia Walker, down with Dana Boyle.
Coach, you're up 1 goal as we go into the half. How do you assess that performance from your team?
I would honestly, like, maybe average, like excellent goaltending, but we got to settle into our game plan. They're playing on us in a man with a little bit of a face guard. So I think we just need to settle in. Like, our clears are a little sloppy. The rain has added some fun. So we just have to settle in, play our game. I think, honestly, simplify everywhere.
Playing in a man or facing a man defense, what adjustments do you want to see offensively?
We just need to move the ball a little bit more. Like, the rain can't be a factor. We have to move the ball. They're sending early doubles. Move the ball to the backside.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Well, Acacia Walker said it best. The rain has only added a little more fun into what is already a spectacular semifinal matchup, living up to the hype. On the other side, you'll be joined with Drew Carter and Rachel DeCecco. Boston College with a narrow 7-6 lead as we're ready to start this second half. Everybody wants to be holding that trophy on Sunday. The dream alive for these teams, and in that first half, what a battle, Sheehan.
It was so strong defensively, a lot of physicality we saw on this field, some great takeaways, but it was punch for punch just like we thought, even though Northwestern went out to an early 4-1 lead.
And it's the biggest stage, and the stars are absolutely shining bright. Madison Taylor involved in the scoring action despite being face guarded and trying to be denied of the ball. And on the other side, you've got Rachel Clark, the right-handed dominant goal scorer, weaving through double teams, triple teams, sliding defenders, still able to get her hands free and finish through traffic.
I think it was key, her aggression, 7 shots, was able to connect on 3. And we got at the goal watch, the 2 leading scorers in NCAA history. Rachel Clark today with 3 goals, Madison Taylor 2. 107 for Taylor, 106 for Clark. The record was 103. And we just see it climb, very exciting.
It's amazing that before this season, nobody had scored more than 103 goals. And now 2 players have done it in the same season, and they're meeting in a semifinal with a trip to the championship game on the line. Great audio there coming from our official's mic in the draw control circle. North Carolina doubled up BC 10-5 in the circle.
Somebody moved early, so alternate possession will make it Northwestern's ball. You heard the official in that sound saying, you know, hands down, stay still. Cannot move until the whistle is blown.
And so much of the draw, Sheehan, is about communication. There are centers who take the draw, and then there are two wing players, and it's a 3 versus 3 unit, and you've got to be on the same page. A lot of times teams spend equal amount of time preparing their draw unit and scouting opponents' draw units and their tendencies to be able to combat and make adjustments.
Northwestern went 13 minutes without a goal in that second quarter before they scored with 10 seconds left of the first half. BC defensively has taken the Wildcats out of their rhythm. Bolig too high on that attempt. Nikki Miles, she's got 2 goals to her name. 16 in purple. Launching into the attack. Riley Campbell.
Great ball movement sets up that shooting space violation. This will put Riley Campbell on that 8-meter.
And they're saying she shot it after the whistle was blown, so it was not a simultaneous whistle. Sometimes you see the ref call shooting space and the shooter will release the ball. That would be simultaneous, but her shot was taken after.
A chance to tie this game at 7, right at the start of the second half. Riley Campbell decides not to go to goal. Instead, Northwestern passing out of a free position for the 3rd time today, and it results in a turnover.
I could tell from her body language that she was looking to make that pass. You need to be deceptive with it, and you can run that out. You don't have to, you can pass out of it and opt not to take that shot and be a little bit safer with it.
And that is the 12th turnover for Northwestern. A couple of them very costly when they were in goal-scoring opportunities like that one. Rachel Clark very aggressive in that first half, took 7 shots, made 3 goals. 2 of those hit the pipe.
So this is interesting. Northwestern has shifted into their zone defense.
Do you like that switch?
I think as an offensive unit, it's very hard to communicate through defensive switches when you're going in and out of a man and a zone. So it can cause a little bit of miscommunication, and they're able to come up with the cause turnover there.
And also, I think for an offense, too, when you make that switch, it's sometimes hard to read. You're used to playing a certain style of defense. They make the switch. It takes you out of your rhythm a little bit once you figure out what they're in.
And you got to communicate through what changes you're making, but on the fly in real time.
Madison Taylor draws contact, earns her 3rd free position of this game. She's made 1, passed out of another. And now a chance to tie it at 7. And I would be shocked if she passes out of this one.
This is a great angle for her. I expect her to take this in. She's so good coming off the 8-meter, and because she attacks the cage hard, she often gets fouled, and gets put on the 8-meter.
Taylor charges in. Save made. Shea Dolce to the rescue.
No
Contact, no call. Sam Smith wins it back. Dolce's out of her cage. And now a whistle comes in. It allows Dolce to get back settled in net. Dolce can't believe the no call.
I'm surprised we didn't get a call there either. And I think she made a smart move by diving to the turf, trying to get the call, sell it a little bit. Definitely was pushed. But love the save and then her aggression to get the ball, trying to maintain possession.
Second chance opportunity for Northwestern. Can they cash in? Nikki Miles spinning into a double team. Clean check. And now Boston College can run in transition. Mia Mascone trying to beat Sammy White. Veteran defender forced to foul.
Northwestern does a nice job slowing down the transition with that check.
Northwestern with a bunch of opportunities to tie this game at 7, lacking that finishing touch.
We've seen this Northwestern zone many times this season. They like to fly out at you and try to trap you on one side of the field.
Devin Russell. The feed into Rachel Clark now. Scramble for the ball, won by Jane Hansen. And now Northwestern can start to clear after the foul.
It's great ball movement from Boston College, but a little bit of a force on the inside, and Northwestern able to get that turnover. And that's the thing with the zone, is that they want to bait you to pass inside to make you think that you got that opening, and then they'll collapse in the inside. So really got to make sure the person is open, because Boston College does an excellent job of working the ball around the perimeter and finding the open people on the inside, but you got to take that extra second when you're going against the zone.
5 minutes played in this third quarter. No goals for either team. Northwestern switching it up defensively. BC has stayed in their man.
This Northwestern offense is highly effective when they use the right and left side. You see the left-handed players like Madison Taylor, Aditi Foster, and Riley Campbell operating on that side, that right side of the field. And then the right-handed players like to stay on the other elbow to really balance it out.
3 straight turnovers for Northwestern. Nearly Rachel Clark couldn't scoop up the ground ball. Gives another chance for this Wildcats offense. The shot clock did not reset because Clark never had firm possession. So only 10 seconds here. Lucy Monroe trying to squeeze it in. And now that's a 3rd consecutive turnover.
There wasn't much time left on the shot clock, so just trying to force it in there, but not a great pass, and Taylor not able to handle that.
Each of these teams with 3 turnovers in this second half. Boston College hasn't attempted a shot this quarter. Their defense has protected the lead, though, 7-6.
I was expecting coming out of that halftime break that both of these teams will respond with a renewed energy.
And adjustments. A lot of times you see these legendary coaches, Acacia Walker and Kelly Monty Hiller, make adjustments in real time.
Stolen away, Jane Hansen. Now this Northwestern defense has come out in this second half shot out of a cannon. They've forced 4 turnovers, BC 0 shots. They've just failed to capitalize on the extra possession on the offensive end. Still looking for that equalizing goal. They've had plenty of opportunities.
BC with 11 caused turnovers and Northwestern with 10 caused turnovers already, just in the third quarter. That is really impressive. It shows the aggression on both sides.
Both of these teams' defenses stealing the headlines in this semifinal. Miles, not a great angle there, and Boston College wins the run out. Closest to the ball, wins possession.
That's huge for Shea Baker to run out that and get that possession.
That's something we've seen this Boston College defense communicate through a lot of times this season, are those end-line runouts. At a stage like this, that's a way that you can steal a couple of bonus possessions. It's being heads up to anticipate the end-line run out and get a head start.
And it's another empty possession for Northwestern. Had a bunch of opportunities in this third quarter to tie it at 7. And Boston College, who had 18 shots in that first half, yet to register 1 in this second half.
You see the constant communication on the interior portion of this Northwestern zone.
Driscoll, wide open, makes Northwestern pay. A miscommunication in the zone. Molly Driscoll with green turf in front of her, cashes in, and BC's up by 2.
Driscoll, the lefty, 39th goal this season. She attacks, pulls out, and then re-attacks, and that's what gets her open. Goes to cage hard and scores.
Well, North Carolina took care of business and then some in our first semifinal. Chloe Humphrey, a career-high 7 goals. Ashley Humphrey, 4 assists. Nicole Humphrey added a goal late. And the Tar Heels rolled 18 unanswered to win 20-4. So the top-seeded Tar Heels stay undefeated. They are headed to the national championship game, which is Sunday, noon Eastern time on ESPN. For more information, go to NCAA.com, your online home for all 90 NCAA championships. Boston College, a narrow 8-6 lead. Molly Driscoll giving the Eagles a little cushion. It's the first time that BC has had some separation in this game. They trailed 4-1, clawed back the lead, and now a 2-goal lead midway through this third quarter. Great insight to the draw control circle. Sam Smith going against Abby Herod. And it's Smith who had been getting the better of Herod, although commits a foul there, so it'll be BC's ball. Before that draw, Northwestern an 11-5 advantage in the circle, and yet they trail by 2.
Which I think BC has really been successful this year. Sometimes when they've struggled at the draw, they still can win games. And it's all about what you do with the ball after you win that possession. So they're either able to get it back, they come up with a caused turnover, and then of course they've got one of the best keepers in the nation, if not the best, in Shea Dolce coming up with some of those saves. So the draw can often tell the story, but it's not everything. However, it's key to maintain that possession.
Now Northwestern, 6 possessions in this third quarter, 0 goals to show for it, 3 turnovers and 0 for 3 shooting.
Keep your eyes on number 2, 23 in purple, Sammy White occupying the inside, always checking in inside the 8-meter, trying to monitor cutters as the rover of that zone defense.
Lapinto, perfectly placed. Emma Lapinto beats Schweitzer. And one of the best crease attackers in the country shows why in the semifinal.
It's Lapinto's IQ and awareness around the goal circle. She is constantly reading where the defense is sliding. Watch her slip right into space. She had Sammy White on her as she finished her cut, and then she curled back to the ball with her left hand up. For the younger players out there, this is why being two-handed is so important, because she's able to cut with her right hand over the top of the crease, curl back with her left, and she has a finishing ability on the doorstep that is equally as good with both her right and her left hand. We saw it on full display in their quarterfinal win against Yale, where she had a 5-goal run that truly sparked the Eagles to victory.
That was unbelievable. She scored 5 straight goals in that Yale game. I mean, it was like the Lapinto show. And now BC with an 8-2 run, their largest lead of the day.
Bottom hand, leave it out. I need your bottom hand out, leave it out there. Good, here we go.
We love hearing these draw calls, the different color calls. So orange means something. They think it's going some direction. And this is going to be BC's ball. A hold call, it looks like.
They're calling an off-ball hold on the circle. So you cannot hold or detain the person you're going up against on the circle.
Shea Baker flips it up over her head to find McKenna Davis. Well, Boston College having scored 8 of the last 10 goals in the driver's seat here as we tick down near 5 minutes remaining in this third quarter. North Carolina awaiting the winner of this semifinal. Double team comes in on Clark, passing out of it. Good ball movement right now by BC, and it leads to shooting space and a free position for Mia Mascone. Delaney Schweitzer, Northwestern goalkeeper, only 3 saves in this semifinal. Could use one here off the 8-meter. Mascone doesn't go to goal. Finds McKenna Davis. And now Molly Driscoll. Another whistle on this possession.
Looks like a 3 seconds violation.
A delayed penalty. So the flag was up as Driscoll was driving, so a delayed penalty here.
Mascone this time goes to goal. Schweitzer got a piece of it and it goes in. Mascone shot right at Schweitzer, and the veteran goalie couldn't keep it out.
That's one she's going to want to have back. Mascone has been a transfer, and Acacia Walker telling us that the transfers this year have been a secret weapon for them, bringing the leadership and also the lacrosse IQ. And you can see Schweitzer, she had it. So look at the shot. Into her, right past her stick, but she makes a body save, and then it goes off the back of her leg.
We've seen this a couple times today already.
That's a tough one. We saw Shea Dolce with a similar situation also, making that save, and it rolls right back in.
This is a great view right here of the draw, where you're seeing it set in the top third of these draw taker sticks.
Yelling at me right now, Jason?
Right there was an incredible angle of the way that Sam Smith is able to get underneath the ball. And when you're able to get underneath the ball with your stick, you can then control where you're placing it. And that's the key as a draw taker, to have the utmost control of the ball, to communicate to your circle players where you're trying to go with it.
Which I found is so interesting, sitting in practices, watching draw units replicate what the other team is going to do. They'll say this girl likes to start a few feet away from the circle and they're going to run in. So then they will adjust their positioning and maybe try to pull her out or move her over to the left or the right. And it's a lot of gamesmanship.
Northwestern still looking for their first goal of this third quarter. Good opportunity coming on the 8-meter. They are shooting 0 for 4 in this third quarter. Meanwhile, Boston College is 3 for 3.
Both teams generated a lot of shots. 20 shots for Northwestern, 21 for Boston College.
Dolce goes low to make the save off the 8-meter. Northwestern 1 for 4 on free positions in this semifinal.
That's an area for Northwestern. They struggled in the Big Ten final against Maryland. They were 0 for 9 on free position shots. That was a game they were down 6-2. They learned a lot about in that game. They battled back. Madison Taylor actually got 2 yellow cards, was sidelined for the final minutes of the game. They end up winning 8-7, but it is crucial in this sport to make sure you convert on your free position shots.
Well, the Northwestern motto has been, we love a hard fight. They are in a hard fight right now, trailing by 4 goals late in this third quarter.
And I love what they said when we talked to them about that Big Ten championship game and how much they learned beating Maryland in the final seconds. They knew no game from then on out was going to be easy. Of course, they beat a very good Michigan team and then a Penn team in the quarterfinals to get to championship weekend.
And number 4 in purple, Jane Hansen, was a big reason why, with those takeaway checks that she demonstrated all season long. Big Ten MVP of that tournament. We talked to Rachel Clark about that. When she's on you, do you have to be aware of where your stick is? And she was like, yes, she's gotten me a few times. You got to be hyper aware of where she is at all times.
And Northwestern's back in the man-to-man. Jane Hansen matched up with Rachel Clark.
10 seconds to shoot. Shot clock winding down. Themelis. Davis, no angle. Schweitzer got a piece of it. Ricochets all the way back to Shea Baker with a fresh shot clock.
See Shea Baker, the captain, signaling, just settle down, take a breath. Perfect time for a reset.
A third quarter that Boston College has dominated, keeping Northwestern scoreless. They have extended their lead to 4, trying to finish the quarter strong. Driscoll earns the whistle. Free position coming for the sophomore.
She's able to draw shooting space there as you attack the cage. If a defender gets in your path to goal, and it will be dangerous, they're not within a stick's length. That is a whistle and sets you up for an 8-meter.
Here's the reset of the shot clock right off the helmet of Delaney Schweitzer. That kicked all the way back to the restraining line.
Driscoll denied by Schweitzer. Long outlet pass right on the money. Can Northwestern get something in transition here? Mary Carroll on the clear. Taylor in attack mode, draws contact, no call, and now BC can go from defense to offense. The Eagles have numbers. It's a 2-on-1. Davis in on goal, scores!
An end-to-end effort all the way from the defensive end. It was a collapse by Devin Russell and Michaela O'Connor. Morgan Smith picks up the ground ball, kicks it to Mia Mascone, triggering a transition break, but it's the fast ball movement that beats the Northwestern transition defense. We've seen the rate at which this Boston College offense can generate assisted opportunities with their ball movement. They just went the length of the field doing the same thing.
McKenna Davis is having a game, 3 goals, 2 assists. And it's almost like she took that pass in slow motion. She got to cage understanding that she needed to fake Delaney Schweitzer, throws in the fakes, finishes and scores. Been impressed really with how aggressive she is attacking the cage.
A hat trick for Davis. The assist from Emma Pinto. Madison Taylor with 40 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Northwestern scoreless since the halftime break. Desperate to find something to take into the fourth quarter. Foul off ball.
Looks like there's too many players on the field for Boston College.
Draw taker Abby Harrod went over the line, so that looks like what the referees are talking about, the offsides call.
So this will be a penalty against Boston College.
Acacia Walker has gone backwards hat. You rarely see that. What does that mean, Charlotte? You played for her.
Oftentimes that happens in the playoffs, so.
It's an illegal substitution on 33, Mascone.
So there will be a penalty, a 1-minute penalty for the offsides violation, or too many people on the field. 1 minute. Now, if Northwestern does not shoot this ball, they could have possession of the ball to start the fourth quarter and would not have to have a draw. I still think you don't want to pass up opportunities to score. So if I was them, I would try to look and get a good shot on cage.
Finellis and Mascone are both in the box. So is this a 7-on-5 for Northwestern?
Potentially illegal substitution and offsides, which would be 2 separate penalties.
That's correct, Charlotte. Illegal substitution by Mia Mascone and Themelis with the green card, offsides.
Great clarification. So this is an awesome opportunity for Northwestern to find something.
BC playing 2 women down on the power play.
Looks like they're going to opt to hold possession. They need to make sure, careful not to turn it over, because they need to have possession of the ball to get it in the fourth quarter.
So Northwestern down but not out. They'll need to come back from 5 goals down, but they'll start 2 women up on the power play in the 4th quarter. Boston College, a 4-0 third quarter. They're in the driver's seat with a spot in the championship on the line.
Coach, Northwestern down, but certainly not out. How do you close out the 4th quarter?
We just have to handle the pressure offensively. They're coming out really hard in the ride and in settled defense. And I think we just have to handle the pressure. I think that we're a little frantic still, but we'll be all right.
You held them scoreless defensively in the 3rd quarter. What do you make of your defensive performance?
Yeah, they're playing out of their minds. Shea is doing such a great job. I think just the midfield, the draws, and the offense have to carry their load.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, Boston College dominated that 3rd quarter. A 4-0 scoring surge. Sheehan, what was the difference?
I just think they came out in attack mode, the passing, finding open players, and then defensively really shutting down this Northwestern offense.
And they're playing at hyper speed with the ball movement, adjusting to that zone defense that Northwestern came out in, trying to get those assisted opportunities.
Northwestern in that 3rd quarter, 0 for 5. 4 turnovers. So they need to become more clinical in this 4th quarter if they want to meet North Carolina in Sunday's championship, noon Eastern time on ESPN. They do start on the power play. 2 women up. This is a 7-on-5 to start the 4th quarter, Sheehan. A massive opportunity.
This is a must-score possession right here for Northwestern.
No one picks up Monroe. She just keeps going. Stings the corner and cashes in on the power play. Boston College, 2 women down, didn't have the defender to spare to slide to Monroe. And Northwestern strikes after a scoreless 3rd quarter. They score 15 seconds into the 4th.
Coming off a 2-goal performance against Penn, Monroe, this was a much-needed goal right here, and I like her patience. Looked like she was trying to draw something, pump fake, and then she just got a better opportunity. Instead of releasing that from out far, she just brings it in. I think it's very tough for Shea Dolte to read this. You can see her reflexes trying to move and adjust, and she just comes in uncontested, and that's what's going to happen when you're playing defense, 2 players down. A critical moment, and Northwestern was able to capitalize on that.
A recipe for a 4th quarter comeback can be the draw control. If you can turn it in to make it, take it. Northwestern doubling up Boston College on draw controls, 15-7.
Sam Smith wins it to herself there. She is so in control when she's able to keep it close. You see the subtle pop right over her shoulder, keeps it within her frame. It doesn't go out to the circle to become a 50-50 ball. That's when she's operating at her best.
Boston College still face guarding Maddie Taylor. She's done a nice job in this game trying to get open, but in that 3rd quarter, she didn't handle the ball a lot.
Bolig trying to split the double team. Draws contact, no call. Boston College defender stays down. That's Caitlin Cole, the freshman. Cole comes from Sacred Heart Academy, where she was the valedictorian. Acacia Walker told us she is the all-time smartest player in the history of Boston College. Charlotte, you were offended by that.
No, she is incredibly smart.
She hits the ground hard. Hate to see when a player goes down. Just looks like, does her legs get tangled up?
It collides with Kylie Colbert. That was eagle on eagle there. This is already a short-handed Boston College defense with no Lydia Colsante, who went down with a season-ending injury. They have shuffled so many new bodies into the defense. Caitlin Cole, the freshman, has come in and provide big minutes, now getting carried off by her head coach, Acacia Walker.
And Caitlin Cole, just a freshman, coming off her best game of the season versus Yale. was a disruptor in her matchup and on the perimeter, sparking transition for the Eagles.
Putting no weight on that right foot. Boston College trying to protect a 4-goal lead in this fourth quarter. Another whistle. Been very start-stop in this second half. And it's a free position for Emerson Bolig. Northwestern just 1 for 4 on free positions in this semifinal.
Look at the setup of the two Boston College players to the right. Number 47, Colbert, is going to push her.
Bolig goes to goal, but misses it high.
A lot of times you see that on that stick side defender of the shooter to try to get a little push or an extra,
like a little, faster, explosive.
To try to get a piece of that shot.
I don't think I would like that, though. I feel like it would be harder for me to adjust to that, but it can certainly work. It's just a matter of inches. If you can deflect the shot with a stick, that can make all the difference. Change the trajectory.
So another free position. The Wildcats now 1 for 5 after they missed the last one with Bolig. This one belongs to Madison Taylor. They've also passed out of 3 free positions. Taylor takes it in, through contact, and scores! It's a hat trick for Madison Taylor. She has now scored at least 3 goals in 30 of her last 32 games. Remarkable consistency. And that goal brings Northwestern back within 3.
Consistency, Jay, and efficiency. She is one of the most efficient shooters that we have seen in college lacrosse. She uses that explosive step to get on the doorstep. And she enters the crease, but they're saying she was pushed in. So this goal will stand. She's able to get underneath the defensive pressure of Shea Baker. Madison Taylor, when she has her dominant hand free, she is burying 57% of her shots. And 35% of her goals are coming from the 8 meters. So she's handling the physicality, stepping up, and finishing the shots.
And 2 of her 3 goals today have come off free positions.
I like how when she goes for those free position shots, she shortens her stick with that bottom hand. Less checkable area.
And Taylor chases down the draw control. Northwestern, after getting shut out in the third quarter, back-to-back goals at the start of the fourth quarter, swinging the momentum in this semifinal. And they have plenty of time. 13 minutes is an eternity, Sheehan.
So long, and you know that they flash back to that last year's loss to Boston College in the national championship. They lost a 1-goal game, 14-13. That still stings. They want to make it to Sunday.
Dolce had it for a moment, but it's pride-free, and Riley Campbell has it. Northwestern not giving up. They are digging after every ball in this fourth quarter, trailing by 3. And here's Madison Taylor. Breaks free of the face guard.
They've had success getting on the same page as Taylor to get her the ball off a quick cut to the end line or to the perimeter.
Boston College has had to do a lot of defending in this fourth quarter. Bouncer, save made! Shea Dolce.
Dolce with the splits coming up with that save. 7th save of the night.
And that the biggest of the bunch as Northwestern was starting to steal momentum. Take another look.
Great positioning by Dolce. Excellent job following the ball and maintaining that ball inside the crease.
And when Northwestern gets the ball to Madison Taylor, it opens up lanes. That's a good shooting lane for a right-handed player like Lucy Monroe, but Dolce comes up with her 200th save of the season.
Off the foot of Schweitzer. Colarusso denied on the 8-meter. More whistles coming in. Boston College being awarded a timeout. Acacia Walker using her first timeout, clinging to a 3-goal lead in this fourth quarter. Will step aside in our national semifinal. The emotion that comes with championship weekend, it has been on full display as two perennial powers, two dynasties in the sport, battling for a spot in the national championship. Number 1 North Carolina, they secured their spot earlier today, awaiting the winner of this game. Championship Sunday, noon Eastern on ESPN. Boston College coming out of the timeout, a 3-goal lead. Northwestern outscoring the Eagles 2-0 in this fourth quarter to cut the lead to 3. Acacia Walker, 7-0 in national semifinals. 11 minutes and change away from making it a remarkable 8-0. Foul called.
It looked like some good defensive pressure, but they're going to put Rachel Clark on the 8-meter.
One of the most dangerous finishers in the sport. Clark goes over the top, too much on it. 30 seconds left on the shot clock for Boston College. Clark trying to muscle her way in, loses possession. Colbert keeps it alive, 20 seconds on the shot clock.
This Northwestern man-to-man defense is collapsing quickly on the inside.
Driscoll with 8 seconds to shoot. Double teamed. Far away from the goal with 4 seconds on the shot clock. And that's a shot clock violation. Northwestern's defense delivers coming out of that Boston College timeout.
Great pressure defense for Northwestern, but Boston College has to do a better job of that open person getting in a position that they can receive the ball.
Good news for Boston College defensively. Cole's back in after getting her right ankle taped.
Talk about playing through the pain. She looked like she's in severe pain coming off the field. She is back in as we tick under 10 minutes to play in this national semifinal. Two perennial powers, a game that has lived up to the hype. Northwestern not going away. Trying to squeeze it into Monroe. Flips it back, Riley Campbell. And now Nikki Miles trying to break free.
I'd like to see this Northwestern offense give themselves a little bit more space to operate. It seems like they're jammed in the middle just a bit.
They're very crowded on that shot. Dolce makes the save. Shot clock resets. Now Madison Taylor has it. 25 in purple. 3 goals, 3 assists for Taylor. Looking for more. Goes to goal. Dolce the save. Northwestern reloads.
Northwestern just keeps on getting those second chance opportunities off the rebound. Love the take from Madison Taylor. She took her time, but Shea Dolce gets a better save.
Aditi Foster tiptoes in and scores. The freshman, fancy footwork, makes it a 2-goal game.
Aditi Foster is the left-handed dynamic player in this crease area. She uses that 2-player game, the pick action with Taylor. And just the presence of Madison Taylor right there, even though she doesn't make contact with defender Julia Hodel, it gives Aditi Foster room to work. And she's able to get underneath, feeling the pressure, taking a step back, realizing where she has leverage, and gets to the inside. Aditi Foster had the game-winning goal in the Big Ten championship game versus Maryland. Madison Taylor was out of the game with 2 yellow cards, and she stepped up in the clutch. Just a freshman, but she has a bright future ahead.
She was that hero in that Big Ten championship game, just a workhorse. Kelly Amani Hiller telling us that she was recruited late in the process. Committed going into her senior year, but had her sights set on Northwestern.
Sam Smith wins the draw for Northwestern. The Wildcats have had all 4 draw controls in this fourth quarter go their way after being shut out in the third quarter, outscoring BC 3-0 in the fourth. They've got all the momentum right now. Still trailing by 2.
We've talked about it. Possession is going to be key.
Foul called.
Maddie Taylor is going to get possession of this ball once again from that hash mark. Great for a left-handed player. We've seen her. What she does is she chokes up on that stick from the bottom and just penetrates to the inside.
Well, this is who you want on the 8-meter if you're Northwestern. At times, it's like Madison Taylor is playing with a magic stick. Charges in, and scores! Taylor beats Dolce to make it a 1-goal game. Unanswered goals for the Wildcats, and they are storming back in this fourth quarter.
Explodes off that 8-meter. Somehow she's able to release that shot. Look at the stick protection. The defenders are all over her. A sliver of room. She releases it right in front of her face. 4 goals, 3 assists in the night, and 6 draw controls for the junior. This is clutch time, and then she works her way back to the center circle. Takes a lot of effort and energy to be one of these circle players. She extends a lot of effort on the offensive end and in the ride, and then comes up here and fights for those 50-50 balls.
Takes a lot of physical energy to be a part of both units, and mental energy, because you got to reset right here at a big draw control.
But if I'm her, I love this position right now because she's got the opportunity. They need to battle back, and she wants to be in the hunt for those balls. Northwestern with the edge and draw control, 17-7 for Boston College. BC's not 1-1 in this fourth quarter.
And Northwestern wins another draw control. Kelly Amani Hiller calls timeout. Her team back within 1. What a turnaround in this fourth quarter. Scoreless in the third quarter, now 4 unanswered goals in the fourth.
They have turned up the heat. Monroe gets this shot. This is when they're warming up, and Maddie Taylor exploding off the 8-meter, willing their team back.
And they've been operating on this left side of the field with Madison Taylor and Aditi Foster. Madison Taylor draws so much attention, handles physicality, is able to get to that 8-meter and bury through contact. But the draw control has had a tremendous impact, especially in the second half of this game.
Northwestern scoreless in that third quarter, trailing 11-6, and just got the sense down but not out. This Northwestern team under Kelly Amani Hiller, they're never out of a game. The motto, we love a hard fight. They brought a hard fight in this fourth quarter. They are battling the Big Ten champions and that championship DNA that's embedded in the Wildcats culture showing up in this fourth quarter.
We heard in Dana's interview with Kelly Amani Hiller also, there's going to be ups and downs in this game, and it's the way you respond. This is fighting to have a spot in the national championship game on Sunday. That third quarter was not a quarter that was great for them offensively, but they've responded in this fourth quarter, and now BC has been held without a goal.
And you look at the draw control stat, 6 of those 18 draws belong to Maddie Taylor. Another 6 belong to Sam Smith. So the connection between those two at the draw circle has been very evident.
So Northwestern dominating the draw. That has changed the momentum in this fourth quarter, executing offensively, limiting the turnovers. What does Boston College need to do to swing this momentum around? Because they're on the back heels now.
They need possession. So they've in the lead of this game, even with the domination of draw controls for Northwestern, because they've got more saves and done a better job with the caused turnovers. But they need a stop here. They've got to get the ball on their end. LBC sending the double team on Maddie Taylor. Somebody's open.
Monroe doesn't pull the trigger, sends it back out. Here's Riley Campbell, shakes free, and scores! For Northwestern in this fourth quarter, and we are tied for the first time since early in the second quarter.
Riley Campbell, the graduate transfer from Harvard, shows off her serious shake right here with a jab step upfield, and she gets underneath, protects her stick. She's such a dynamic left-handed player, operates so well with Foster and Taylor in that left-handed wing. But she plays this in a one-on-one set, realizes there's no hedge, no slide, and buries it on the off-stick side of Dolce.
What a turnaround. It has been make it, take it for Northwestern in this fourth quarter. They've won every draw. They've cashed in on every possession. A 5-0 scoring surge to tie this game at 11. Tied for the first time since it was 5-5.
And that's going to be a green card issue to Northwestern for a check across the body. So a physical foul between the 30s. Now Northwestern down a player for up to 1 minute.
This is the first time Boston College is going to have the ball on offense in the fourth quarter. Yes, they're on the power play, but how do you ignite this offense after you haven't touched it in a while? You're out of rhythm.
You want to be careful. Just get the ball, settle it down into Rachel Clark's stick, but I think, give everyone a touch. And I think their offense was working fantastic. They just have not had much possession in this fourth quarter.
Woman up for another 30 seconds. McKenna Davis, 3 goals, 2 assists, passes out. And now Emma Lapinto with 15 seconds left on the woman up. Clark gets a touch. Lapinto. Power play expires. Lapinto, Schweitzer got a piece of it. Battle for the ground ball, rolls into the Northwestern crease. And the Wildcats can start the clear with 6 minutes remaining in regulation.
It looked to me on that possession that BC was being a little too conservative, even being a player up. You want to make sure you're smart and take a high percentage shot, but he still can take risks.
Similar to playing a zone defense, you have to dodge. Even when you're a man up and they're in a man down defense, you've got to dodge to get defenses to collapse and then open up off of the ball movement.
Madison Taylor, 4 goals, 3 assists to her name. Passes inside, Sam Smith fires Northwestern in front. The senior delivers And the Wildcats lead for the first time since it was 5-4. 6 unanswered goals in this fourth quarter.
Smith, the senior, the leader of the draw control unit. This all starts, the woman up for Boston College. They get a shot on cage, Emma Lapinto, but Delaney Schweitzer holds that pipe. Ball stays out. And look at the cut from Sam Smith. She has tons of room in real estate in the inside. And Maddie Taylor with the feed. Beautiful dish and score. 6 goals in a row for Northwestern. They have owned this fourth quarter.
Madison Taylor has had 8 points on the day, 4 goals, 4 assists, a hand in 8 out of the 12 Northwestern goals. You see her vision right there. She just sees the next layer of offense, even when there's pressure on her hands, on ball. She's able to dissect the backside.
Charlotte, you've been in that Boston College huddle. What's being said?
Possession, like Sheehan mentioned, possession is everything. So keying in on what it's going to take to come up with this draw control. And then offense.